it's Angel Vane, and this is episode 84 of my author's diary. I am an author of crime thrillers for women, and every week I take you through the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books. So don't forget to follow me or subscribe if you haven't done so already. This week, I am talking about my 2021 goals. I'm not ready to talk about it. I have literally revised and revised again and replotted and replanned what my goals are for 2021 just about every week so far. And I guess it's only been 2 weeks of January, but still I feel like I've been thinking about it so much so that I thought I had this nailed, right? I had this nailed down. I knew it. I knew what I was going to try to do in 2021. I even did my bullet journal pages, and I will show those to you. I did my Bujo pages for my plan, and now I have switched up the plan. So then I had to go and buy, just like the notebook pages that match my planner. It's an Archer and Olive planner. And so I went and just bought the Archer and Olive, just kind of like single pages that you can, tear out, because I'm literally going to have to go and cover up those pages and fix it. Let's go ahead and kick into my 2021 goals. And yes, pencil down on what my goals are going to be. No more changing. This is it. I'm telling the world, and so I'm not changing them. Not gonna do it. Now, I only have 3 goals for 2021, but I will admit they are some pretty ambitious goals for me, and I consider a lot of them to be stretch goals and things that will not be easy to do. It's gonna, require me to kind of push myself outside of my comfort zone, go that little bit of an extra mile, give that, instead of giving 100%, I'm giving 145%. It's really gonna stretch me a bit, but hey, it's what I do. So goal number 1, write every day, almost. So in the past, I've always said, look, I don't write every day. I got a day job. I got all this other stuff that I like to do. I'm not going to write every day. So I'll try to, count up how many days of the month I will write and then have a bunch of backup days. And that worked for me. But what I realized from doing NaNoWriMo twice is there's a groove that I'm able to get into and stay in and produce better writing when I write more frequently, and I don't allow myself to take 6, 7, 8 days off because I know that I still have time to make it up on the back end. So doing that kind of cram writing session, I don't feel that I produce better writing. I think I just give future work for future Angel to do in the revision process. And yes, Angel loves to revise, but I don't want to revise that much, right? So the goal there is to write every day almost, because I know that because I have a day job that stuff happens, right? There may be times when I can't write in the evening. I'm too exhausted. I'm too pissed off about something that happened at work that day, or there's just something else that I have to do. And so I will still be using the weekend, Saturday and Sunday, as kind of makeup days. But the goal is to write every day. And so I am, and I want to keep track of it. So I actually have created a page in my bullet journal. It is going to be my monthly writing tracker. And I'm going to write down, okay, did I write today or did I not write today? And if I didn't write, I want to write down the reason why, so that when I'm looking back on the year, I can kind of go back and assess, okay, what happened on the days that I didn't write? Why didn't I write? Is it because I was burnt out on writing? Or is it because I had something else that I needed to do? I really want to be able to capture that so I can see if this writing every day thing will actually be something that works for me longer term, or if this is just a 1-year experiment and I need to kind of put it in the trash and not do it no more. So that is my goal number 1, is to write every day almost. Goal number 2 is to double dos. Is to double the, because those are all 2, right? Okay, so never mind. I don't know how to say double in another language. double the amount that I have earned on my books. So from last year to this year, I want to double the amount. So if you watch my 2020 recap, you will know that I made just a little bit over $2,000 on my books in 2020. I want to double that in 2021 and make $4,000 on my books. And I mean, it's like I got 12 months to do it, right? So I'm like, okay, come on, you can do this. You literally can do this. And again, this is not profit. I'm not in profit land right now. I'm spending money to try to make money, and I'm okay with it because it's just like, yeah, okay, I need to do it that way for now. Hopefully I won't have to do it that way forever, but for right now I have to do it that way. So again, this is just gross revenue number. I want to make $4,000 in 2021 on my books, and I think I can do it because of what's coming up with goal number 3. Double the number of books that I published in 2021 compared to 2020. So in 2020, I published 2 books, The Relentless Hero and The Fallen Hero, which are book 2 and book 3 of the Hero in Paradise series. Now, if I want to double my money, I felt like, well, I need to double the number of books that I'm publishing. And so I am shooting for a goal of publishing 4 books in 2021. And now I'm going to give you some details around how I determined what books I want to publish in 2021 and kind of what my annual overview plan at a glance looks like on how I will accomplish publishing 4 books this year. Okay, so this is my page from my bullet journal, and I will tell you right now, this novel plan at a glance, I hate this page. I hate it. In my head, I thought it was going to come out so much better than what it looks like. And now I look at it with all those letters and I'm like, what does this mean? Like, it's not intuitive. It is not a quick glance check that I can keep track of, because I'm like, I keep having to go from like the right side of the page to the left side of the page to try to decipher and figure out, okay, well, what does this really mean? So I'm actually going to redo these pages. We'll redo the novel plan at a glance page, because it just like, you can't look at that at a glance and figure out what I'm supposed to be writing on a certain week. Like, that's just, I don't know, it's cryptic, right? It's just too cryptic. It's too cryptic even for me. But okay, so the processes I went through to try to determine what I could do in 2021, I started off with looking back, going back to NaNoWriMo 2019 and everything that I wrote in 2020, and really broke it down into what are the tasks that I have to complete to get a book published. And then I broke that down based off of how long the books are. So it takes me a certain amount of time if it's a 90,000 word book versus a 60,000 word book versus a 30,000 word book. The novellas, they're around 30,000 words. My holiday sweet romances, 60,000 words. My romantic suspense books, just because I just don't know why I can't make them any shorter. But every time I write one, it's like 90,000 words. I think I got The Fallen Hero down to like 83,000, but that was really hard to do. And I'm working on The Unexpected Hero right now. Just, I'm probably at about, I think I'm at 60% done at this time. But at the 50% mark, I had written 52,000 words. 52,000! So yeah, not happy about that. But I digress. The way I have designed my writing goals for 2021 is that I write 1 chapter a day. And that is why my goal number 1 of writing every day is so important, because I feel like I can really get this done if it doesn't become too daunting and look like, oh, I have this mountain of things to try to write on a short number of days. If I break it down into tiny pieces and say, you don't have to write 1 scene a day. And my scenes are about 1,700 words. I know this. And 1,700 words takes me 2 to 2.5 hours to write. And so I'm like, okay, well, every day I just need to find 2 to 2.5 hours to carve out, write 1,700 words, and then I'm on track. I'm good. I don't have to stress. I don't have to do more. I am good. I am on track. Okay. So basically, the pattern that I had gone through, starting with NaNoWriMo 2019 all the way through 2020, is I would plot out and I would outline, and I would do that. I would take about a month to do that. Then I would write the first draft, and so I call that original manuscript version 1. But 3 times now. 3 times. This happened 3 times. NaNoWriMo 2019 happened with The Relentless Hero, and it happened with The Fallen Hero. I wrote about 50% of the book and then stopped and said, wait a minute, something's not right here. I need to go back and revise my plot. I'm not happy. I'm not convinced that this is the best way to tell the story. I want to go into a different direction. And so I would pause. I do some self-editing of the first 50%, my own developmental editing of the first 50%. I would go back through the outline, rejigger the outline, rejigger the plot, and then start back at the beginning and then write the whole book all the way through. So I wanted to be very realistic in my writing process, and not because as much as I want to say, I don't want to do that piece. I want to plot up front and get the plot down the way it needs to be and not have to go back and revisit it and revise the plot. But since I had done it 3 times in the past, and the last 3 things that I've written, I said, you know what? Let's be realistic about this. Let's bake that into my writing process, that you're going to write 50% of the book, and then you're going to pause, and then you're going to reassess. And then you might overhaul stuff, and then after you've overhauled, then you'll go on and write the full book. And so that's where you see the steps. So you see original manuscript version 1, that's 50% of the current outline. Then I would flow into self-editing and revising the plot. Then I would write original manuscript version 2, and that's where I write 100%, write the whole entire book. And then after that, I would hand it over to the editor for review. And that's just 2 weeks where I'm off. Like, I can breathe, I can relax, or I can start plotting the next story, which is what I plan to do, is plot the next story. Then comments come back. There's a lot of, gnashing of teeth and crying and tears and, I thought my story was good. I gotta fix it. Stuff like that. Or, those comments are so bad. Maybe I did good this time. So, who knows? Who knows what it's going to be once you get comments back from the editor. They could be great. They could blindside you. I've had both happen to me. Going back through, meeting with the editor, going through those comments, fixing it. And that is my version 3 of the original manuscript. Then I flow into read aloud editing. This is something that me and my editor, we do together. After I've cleaned up all of those other comments, then we get the computer to read the story, let the computer kind of speak their words out to us, read the book to us, and we go through the whole entire book and see, is there anything else that needs to be edited, needs to be fixed, needs to be changed. And then after that, send it out to beta readers and proofreaders at the same time. And so getting proofreading comments back, getting beta reader comments back, that will flow me into the 4th version of my original manuscript. And it's addressing all of those comments. And then once that is done, I'm done. That's pencils down. That's all I'm doing. I don't want to see this book no more. Like, I'm ready to format it, get it all done, get it ready for publishing. Then goes out to the ARC reviewers, and then there's release week. So you can see that for each one of those tasks, I have put how many weeks it will take me to complete it. And the number of weeks basically is determined by how many words are in the book. And then I have the total projected weeks to complete. So I have 30 weeks for a 90,000 word book, 22 weeks for a 60,000 word book, and 13 weeks for a 30,000 word book. And so that is the game plan. That's the structure. So as I started thinking through, okay, well, what will I be publishing in 2021? I go by that list that shows me, okay, if it's this many words, here's how long you have to plot out of the year to get it done. Okay. So I tried to visually show myself this in this novel plan at a glance. Yeah, epic fail. It doesn't make sense. And then I realized, hey, the way I had done it in my 2020 bullet journal really is the way that makes better sense to me. And it really would be at a glance, quick view. This is what you need to be working on, and this is what phase you're in, right? Okay, so this is the 2020 annual writing plan that I had in my old bullet journal. You can see that back then I tracked only 6 things. Now I'm tracking 12, I think, different things. But you can see that I have the months laid out, and then you can see, okay, well, March 2020, that's plotting and outlining of the fallen hero and meet the parents. This is really at a glance because TFH is the fallen hero, and so for every month I could see what I should have been doing for the fallen hero. Initial manuscript was written in April and May. The author revisions, my revisions, should be done in June. And so this is really at a glance, and this is more so what I need to see for 2021. Okay, so this is my novel plan at a glance for 2021. Yeah. So the books that I plan to write, so the 4 that are listed in that top row, those are the 4 books that I plan to publish in 2021. And then the books that are on that row below it are the things that I believe I will start writing on, but won't necessarily publish in 2021. Now, the good thing about that is that time that I have slated for the things that are on that second row, if I run into any snags or anything that causes me to have a delay in writing, then that's my buffer time. Like I can just kick those things into 2022 and it's no big deal because they weren't going to be published this year anyway. They don't count for those 4 books that I need to publish this year so that I could try to double my earnings from what I earned in 2020. So the books that I plan on publishing in 2021 would be, first up, The Unexpected Hero, finishing out the series of the Hero in Paradise series with Julian and Mina, last book, and I'm just super excited about this book, and I'm also like, it's emotional. I put Julian through some really, really, really bad things. Like I thought that everything I took him through in The Fallen Hero was like, okay, that's about as worse as it's gonna get, because that was his all is lost book, right? When you think about the series being a 4-act structure book, which is how I like to do my series. So like book 1 is act 1, book 2 is act 2A, book 3 is act 2B, which leads to my all is lost. So everything that's in The Fallen Hero takes us to Julian's ultimate all is lost moment. And then book 4 would be act 3, where he kind of rises from the ashes, the phoenix rises again, and he gets a chance to squash the bad guy. Or will he? Because it is called The Unexpected Hero. You just have to read it to find out, right? But yeah, so in the first half of the book, I put him through some really, really bad stuff that like, I made myself cry. And I'm like, I'm crying because I don't want him to go through this, but it's what I need for the plot. Like that's how I was literally crying tears writing some of those scenes. So anyway, so that's The Unexpected Hero. Then I want to do a holiday book for Julian and Mina, because there's something that's going to happen at the end of The Unexpected Hero that's going to be unresolved. And I think a holiday book with Christmas time and Christmas spirit and holiday miracles is something that is a way that I can kind of close up one of these loose ends in the Hero in Paradise series. Then after I have done those 2 books, I get a chance to take a time out from romantic suspense and go back to my holiday sweet romances. I want to write a sweet romance because I think it's at the opposite end of the spectrum from the romantic suspense books that I write. So, I write, gritty romantic suspense with lots of killing, lots of diabolical stuff happening, folks cussing all over the place. It has all these raunchy sex scenes and stuff in it. And so now I get a chance to go to the other extreme and be sweet, clean, wholesome, just dealing with the relationship aspects of stuff. No danger, just kind of relationship drama. And I'm really excited about kind of getting a break and kind of doing something that's a simpler story in that vein. And so it's interesting too, because I love the idea of writing a sweet romance if it's set in the holidays. If it's any other time during the year, I'm like, I don't want to write that. Like, what am I going to make happen if it's not holiday time? Like, I want to write a holiday sweet romance, which, when I step back from a marketing perspective, I'm like, okay, Angel, so you want to write a slew of books that really will only make you money 2 to 3 months out of the year. What kind of sense does that make? Well, shoot, it's like my audiobook. I just want to do it. It's what I want to do. I don't care if it doesn't make good financial business sense right now. I want to do it, so I'm going to do it. Okay, so the Sierra book, that's the Holiday Sweet Romance that I wrote for NaNoWriMo 2019. So literally, that whole book is written. The problem is, though, that the last 50% doesn't match the first 50%. And so there is some revising, some heavy revising that's needed to get that book to be cohesive and in shape, right? And then, of course, they're set in a town, and it's with firefighters and stuff. And so I'm really going to build out the whole town and really kind of shift and kind of show you different people in the town and how they end up connecting and falling in love, right? So then I need a reader magnet to try to, convince people to go ahead and buy the Sierra and Luke book. And so that's going to be my Tandy and Connor book. And I already have a lot of notes on some plot for that and how it would kind of all play out, but nothing really fleshed out into like the story structure and the outline and all that kind of stuff. So after I finish the Sierra and Luke book, then I will flow into another Holiday Sweet Romance, which would be a free giveaway reader magnet for Tandy and Connor, set in the same small town. I need to write a new reader magnet for the Hero in Paradise series because my current reader magnet really focuses on Ella, who dies in the Hero in Paradise series. And it deals with Bojan, the man that she started having a relationship with, who pops up in the Hero in Paradise series, but he's just a tertiary character, right? He comes in when I need him to kind of like help Julian get out of a jam. And so I really want to create a reader magnet that involves Julian or Mina or both of them in some kind of way, but has to be set before the external hero starts. So I'm still trying to work out how that could be. So that is something that I'll be working on towards the end of 2021. But then the other thing that I want to do after I've written the 2 sweet romances is kick off a new romantic suspense series. And I'm not quite sure how exactly I'm going to frame it in romantic suspense, because it's going to be a series too, but it's going to be one of those series where each book is a different couple, just like my Holiday Sweet Romances will be each book is a different couple. And the couple that I want to start off with first is Kendrick. So Kendrick is the detective that is in the Hero in Paradise series. He's one of Julian's really good friends. And in every single book, you kind of hear about Kendrick being so unlucky in love. And he's the nice guy that never gets the girl. He's the one that always gets overlooked. He's the guy who has never met a stranger, has all of these friends, but just cannot seem to make a relationship work. And I thought, I want to give Kendrick a girl, and not just any girl. Not just any girl. I want him to supersede everybody's expectations by connecting him with the mega superstar singer that I've also talked about briefly in several books. Her name is Coco. And so whenever I have people go to a club or something like that, they'll be dancing to a Coco song, and she's kind of like the Palm Chat Islands version of Rihanna, right? And so Kendrick and Coco will be the couple. And I'm really excited about him finally getting the girl. So just to run through, you can see here, and I won't go through all of this, but again, at the top, these are all of the tasks that I do. The number of weeks that's covered here for the different areas, it matches up with the page that I showed you before, which is what I project how many weeks it takes me to do each one of these different tasks based off of the length of the book. And then it's just me kind of working through all the weeks until the book gets published, and then rinse repeat. So the columns that are in this lighter gray, editor review, beta reader, proofreader, the final format, these are things that either I'm not directly doing, so those are free weeks for me to do something else, or these are weeks where I can multitask. I could be writing and then also doing these things. And so you'll see that there are certain weeks where, like this week, where there are 2 things here. So it's like, well, the Unexpected Hero is with the editor, so I will actually be plotting and outlining the holiday book for Julian and Mina. And so that happens frequently when there are things that are being done in the gray areas for a certain book. Then that gives me free time to kind of work on something else while that's also going on. So I really, I have my 4 release weeks. So I have the Unexpected Hero, based off of my current writing plan, should be released the week 17, which ends on April 25th. And just a weird thing that I do when I'm thinking about my writing world, right? My author life. My week begins on a Monday and it ends Sunday at midnight because I use the weekends to catch up on stuff that I didn't get a chance to do Monday through Friday. So I don't want my week starting on a Sunday. My week ends on a Sunday. So this is the end of week 17, which would be Sunday, April 25th, which means the Unexpected Hero will probably be released Tuesday of that week. So around, I don't know what that would be, April 20th or something like that. So then the next book release would be the holiday book, which would be, I don't know if I'm going to release a holiday. Yeah, I guess I would release the holiday book in June. Because I could do a kind of a Christmas in July type of promotion for it and really try to get people to buy it early and then promote it again in December. So I could do that. But yeah, so that's slated for a June, to be released the week that ends on Sunday, June 13th. Then my Sierra book, which is my holiday sweet romance, that would be released the week that ends Sunday, September 12th. And then the reader magnet would be Tandy Down Here, that first week of November. That is my novel plan at a glance. And again, this is what I will end up printing out and putting in my bullet journal to replace that crazy page that I do not like anymore. All right, so those were my 2021 goals. I don't see why I wouldn't accomplish all of these goals because it literally is based off of writing one scene a day. Just one scene, 1,700 words per day, 2 hours to 2.5 hours per day. That's all I have to dedicate to it. And I can literally get all of this done in 2021 and be on track to meet all of my goals. So that's all, folks. If you want to continue to keep up with me and all the ups and downs that I go through as I try to write and publish new books, click the subscribe button. Then don't forget to click that little silver bell so you won't miss when I'm doing a video. And I will see you next time.